In our society, the word step is often associated with negativity. Many people don't trust step relations, and unfortunately, some step relations justify this distrust through their actions. But as the saying goes, not all fingers are the same. Just as some step relations are cruel, even blood relations can be unfair. This is the story of two step relations that changed many lives, especially mine, forever. My stepsister did something so horrifying to me that I still feel ashamed to talk about it. This story will reveal how people are never as they seem on the surface. It all started one night when I woke up and found my stepsister, Asma, missing from our shared room. She was 14 years old, and her absence at that hour worried me. I searched the entire house, but she was nowhere to be found. Just as I was about to wake my father or stepmother, I saw Asma quietly coming down the stairs from the rooftop. When I confronted her, she got defensive and snapped at me, telling me to mind my own business. She claimed she went to the rooftop for fresh air and angrily pulled me back to the room before I could alert anyone. I noticed she looked tired, her eyes red as if she had been crying or awake for too long. When I asked again, she threatened to complain to her mother that I was harassing her. Scared of her false accusations, I remained silent, but deep inside, I felt something was wrong. The next night, I woke up again to find Asma missing. This time, I silently followed her to the rooftop. What I saw there left me in complete shock. My father's second marriage. I had always longed for a mother's love. My mother had passed away early, and my father raised me alone. Though we had a maid who took care of me, she could never replace a mother's warmth. One winter, I fell severely ill, and since our maid had left for personal reasons, my father had to cancel his important business meetings to stay with me. That was when he realized I needed a mother. My aunt, Fufo, advised him to remarry for my sake, and after much thought, he agreed. At 12 years old, I was excited about the idea of having a new mother. I imagined she would care for me, play with me, and make our home lively again. However, I was unaware of what awaited me. A few days later, my father introduced me to my new stepmother. She was a middle-aged woman with a strict face and sharp eyes. She did not match the warm, loving mother I had dreamed of. But the biggest shock came when my father introduced me to her daughter, Asma, who was a few years older than me. I wasn't happy about sharing my home, my room, or my belongings with someone else. However, I didn't want to upset my new mother, so I accepted Asma into my space. Asma was manipulative. She constantly took my things, fought with me, and created trouble. Over time, my stepmother turned my father against me. She fired our old maid, hired a new one who mistreated me, and filled my father's ears with lies about my behavior. One night, in frustration, I threw my food on the floor because the maid deliberately cooked something I disliked. My father, who had never hit me before, slapped me and called me disrespectful. I was heartbroken. He had changed completely after his second marriage. The worst betrayal. One night, a loud argument broke out in our house. I stepped out of my room and saw my stepmother shouting at my father while Asma sat crying. Suddenly, my father turned to me in rage and began beating me. I had no idea what was happening until he screamed, "How could you do this to your own sister? You have dishonored our family. Asma is pregnant because of you." I was too stunned to respond. I was only 12 years old. My father believed that I had committed a crime I couldn't even fully understand. My stepmother and Asma had framed me. The truth was that Asma had been sneaking out at night to meet a much older man. I had seen her on the rooftop with him, engaging in inappropriate acts. When I tried to confront her, she threatened me. I had remained silent out of fear, but now my silence had cost me everything. Despite pleading my innocence, my father refused to believe me. My stepmother and Asma's lies had poisoned his mind. That night, he threw me out of the house. I had no one to turn to except my aunt. Crying and broken, I reached her home and told her everything. She comforted me and promised to fight for me. The truth revealed. My aunt was suspicious of Asma and decided to investigate. With the help of a private detective, she uncovered the truth. Asma had been in a relationship with a much older neighbor. My father was devastated when he learned this. He realized that he had wrongfully accused his own son and destroyed our bond. But the damage had been done. The pain of betrayal and rejection had scarred me forever. I could never forgive my father for abandoning me when I needed him the most. My stepmother and Asma got what they deserved. My father divorced her and cut ties with Asma. But by then, I had lost all trust in relationships. This story proves that people are not always as they appear. A stepmother is not always evil, and a blood relation is not always loyal. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes, the ones we trust the most can become the ones who hurt us the worst.